There are 7 types of strikers in football. Most casual fans can name maybe 2. The guy who scores goals and, well, the other guy who scores goals. But here's the thing. The difference between a poacher and a target man is the difference between a sniper and a battering ram. They might stand in the same spot on the pitch, but they aren't playing the same sport. One is trying to break your door down with brute force. The other is picking your pocket while you aren't looking. If you judge a target man by his sprint speed or a poacher by his tackle count, you're basically judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Today, I'm going to show you every single one, how they work, and why they've broken the brains of the world's best defenders for decades. Let's get into it. What is a striker, really? Technically, the striker is the player at the very top of your formation, the number 9, the one closest to the opponent's goal. On paper, their job is the simplest in sports, put the ball in the net. But how they do that, where they stand, what they do when they don't have the ball, and how they interact with the other 10 players, that's where it gets complicated. The word striker is a broad label. In reality, it describes at least 7 completely different archetypes. The complete striker, we start with the rarest breed, the complete striker. This is the unicorn. It's exactly what it sounds like. A player with no visible weaknesses. Think about Karim Benzema or Robert Lewandowski. If you cross the ball, they'll outjump your center back and score a header. If you leave them space outside the box, they'll smash a 30-yard volley. If the team is struggling to move the ball, they'll drop 20 yards deep, link the play, and start the attack themselves. The complete striker is a tactical nightmare because you can't prepare for them. Most strikers have a tell. You know they want to run in behind, or you know they want to stay in the air. But the complete striker? They are whatever the game demands them to be. One minute, they're a target man holding off a defender. The next, they're a false 9 creating a gap. They don't specialize, they dominate every phase. The poacher, then, we have the total opposite. Total specialization. The poacher. A poacher doesn't care about linking the play. They don't care about beautiful dribbles. Honestly, for 85 minutes of a match, they might look like they've wandered onto the pitch by accident. There's a famous saying about the legendary Gerd Müller. He didn't look like an elite athlete, he looked like an accountant who just happened to be in the penalty area. But Müller scored 365 goals in 427 Bundesliga matches. Why? Because the poacher lives on instinct. They don't take touches, they finish. They anticipate a rebound before the keeper has even parried the ball. They find a 2-inch gap between 2 6-foot defenders. If the ball enters the 6-yard box, the poacher is already there, waiting. Erling Haaland is the modern evolution of this. He's faster and stronger, but at his core, he is a lethal finisher who only needs one touch to ruin your night. The target man now, let's talk about the heavy hitters. The target man. If the poacher is a ghost, the target man is a wall. They are usually tall, incredibly strong, and built like a center back who got bored of defending. Their job isn't to run away from people, it's to let people run at them. When a team is under pressure, the easiest escape route is a long ball. The target man is the reference point for that ball. They'll take it on their chest, hold off 2 defenders with their back to the goal, and lay it off to a midfielder. Think of Peter Crouch or Olivier Giroud. Giroud famously won a World Cup with France without completing a single dribble. Some people laughed, but his manager knew the truth. Without Giroud acting as a physical anchor, Mbappe and Griezmann wouldn't have had the space to destroy defenses. The target man sacrifices their own stats to make everyone else look like a superstar. The shadow striker here is where it gets tactical. The shadow striker. This role is almost invisible, until it's too late. They don't play as the main striker. They play behind him. Their job is to lurk in the shadow of the number 9. While the defenders are busy wrestling with the main striker, the shadow striker is drifting into pockets of space that nobody is marking. The master of this is Thomas Müller. He even invented a word for his job, Raumdeuter or space interpreter. He isn't the fastest, he isn't the strongest, and his dribbling isn't flashy, but his brain works faster than yours. He materializes in the box at the exact second a defender turns their head. By the time you realize he's there, he's already celebrating. It's the most calculated, high IQ movement in the sport. The pressing forward, getting into the modern era, we have the pressing forward. This is a relatively new invention that has changed the game at the highest level. For a pressing forward, their primary job isn't even scoring. It's running. They are the first line of defense. They hunt the opposition's center backs, they close down passing lanes, and they force mistakes. Roberto Firmino at Liverpool was the absolute blueprint for this. Jurgen Klopp once said that Firmino was the engine of his entire system. He might play a full 90 minutes, run 12 kilometers, and not take a single shot on goal, and his coach will call it a 10 out of 10 performance. Why? Because the chaos he created allowed Mo Salah and Sadio Mane to score 30 goals a season. The pressing forward is the ultimate unselfish striker, the deep-lying forward. Then there is the deep-lying forward. This is a striker who thinks they're a playmaker, and usually they're right. They don't wait for the ball to come to them. They go find it. They drop 30 yards back into the midfield, dragging defenders out of position with them. Once they have the ball, they turn and play quarterback, threading through balls to their wingers. Late-career Karim Benzema or Harry Kane are the best examples here. You'll see Kane drop so deep he's basically a defensive midfielder for a moment, only to spray a 40-yard pass out wide and then sprint back into the box to finish the cross. It requires the passing range of a number 10 and the finishing instinct of a number 9. It's an exhausting role, but for a tactical manager, it's the ultimate tool to break a low-block defense. The false 9. Finally, we have the role that broke football, the false 9. This isn't just a position, it's a philosophy. A false 9 is a striker who isn't a striker at all. They start at the top, but the moment the whistle blows, they leave. They abandon the striking zone completely. This creates a defensive paradox. If the center back follows the false 9 into midfield, he leaves a massive hole in the middle of the defense. If he stays in his position, the false 9 has all the time in the world to turn and pick the defense apart. Pep Guardiola weaponized this with Lionel Messi in 2009. Real Madrid's defenders literally didn't know who to mark. The space they were supposed to be defending was empty, and yet they were losing 6-2. The false 9 proved that the most dangerous place on a football pitch isn't where you are. It's where you aren't. The outro. So, the next time you're watching a match and you see a striker who hasn't touched the ball in 20 minutes, or a striker who keeps running toward his own goal, don't assume they're having a bad game. They might be a poacher waiting for his 1 second of glory, or a false 9 breaking the opponent's tactical map. The position on the team sheet might be the same, but the job is always different. Thanks for hanging out and nerding out on tactics with me. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Which type of striker would you want on your team? I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned.